Hey Firewood friends, Mike with K&L Firewood. How you doing? It's been a while. I have got so much to share with you guys that we've been doing over the last month. This particular video is going out to DW. You know who you are, DW. He contacted me today and said, man, are you okay? Yeah, we're fine. We're just super busy like everybody else, man. If you've got children and they're active into things, the summertime is no time for a break. You know where I'm coming from. One of the things I'll tell you about, and you're gonna get a surprise at the end of the video, is we got some cool new swag. Check that out. Even my kids said that was pretty cool. Bill Moon from Backspin Graphics has made some hats. Of course, you knew about shirts and the hoodies and coffee mugs and sock hats he's made for us. So, and they're all on the merch shop. They're probably all listed somewhere down here. You can click a shop button and you can go purchase any of those things right now if you want to. Speaking of right now, we're in my little woods. I've got about a 3-acre woods. I don't cut much out of here unless it falls down, and we had some storms blow through, several over the last month, and I lost this ash tree, which was dead anyway. I knew it was coming down, just a matter of time. It's hung up in this cottonwood that had come down sometime last year that I'm probably just gonna let sit there and rot. I don't want to do anything with that, but I'm gonna try to cut up this ash, and I'm gonna go outside of the wood, out into the wood yard, and show you what else has been going on. Not a real good place to put you during that cutting session there, but I got a few logs out of it, so I'll get in here and get them pulled out. All right, we're gonna try and pick all these logs up and then get out of the woods. It's kind of tight. Well, that one I cut a little too long, didn't I? That's all right. We'll make do. Made it. Yeah, I wasn't really able to see these that well in the woods, so let's take a good look at them here. Yeah, they're pretty tiny, but ash, nonetheless, it'll make firewood. Show you something else we've been doing here. If you remember, done some talks over here by the firewood pile, at least one of them, and you can see how gray these ends are. Most of these are walnut from last fall. If you remember, we had that woods, the guy was just pushing in the pile and burning. We were like, whoa, hang on a minute, we want some of those. We ended up getting 23 trailer loads. That's what some of this was. But since then, and primarily since the Hoosier firewood hysteria, so May to now, it's August 7th, all the stuff with the fresh ends I've been collecting from one of my tree service guys, one of the new guys. He's been calling me pretty regular. The good and bad thing with that is I typically have to go get it. But the good thing is when you get there, you can say, yeah, I want this piece, but no, I don't want that piece. And you can kind of be picky, right? Over the last few times, he's actually delivered to me. So a little bit of go and get, a little bit of get delivered. So it's working out pretty well. I'll show you what's in this pile. Got a lot of ash and mulberry and maple. There's quite a bit here. He dropped off this ash yesterday, along with some others. It's a little too big to put on that pile, so I'm going to cut it in half and restack it. He has also either brought me or I have gone and picked up several pine logs here. Was there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I've got 2 more over there, 9, 10. Make some nice campfire wood. I've got this oak as of yesterday, which is good because Rick, the mechanic, Rick was at the hysteria. He has a project where he needs a 1x6 oak, and he called me, I don't know, a month or so ago and said, hey, you have any oak logs? And I was like, man, I don't. I do have 2 back there in that pile, but it's almost dead center in that pile. I'm not digging them out. I said, man, I don't. What are you doing? He's like, I've got an outside project, need some 1x6s. I said, I got a bunch of walnut logs. He's like, all right, that might work. So then last night I texted him and said, hey, I got some oak logs. If you're really dead set on oak, I might have some that'll work for you. So I think he's going to come over later today and look at these oak logs. If this doesn't work out, he might do the walnut or mix and match. I don't know. I don't really care. He helps me out anytime I need it, so I really don't care. And then some of the stuff I've been most excited about getting is right here. He has brought me a ton of cherry logs. Again, you can kind of see the ones that are gray on the end. Those are the ones from last fall. And then these bright colored ones are from just a couple days ago. I wasn't going to show you this yet, but I guess I might as well. I got 50 more totes. I had a friend of mine who has brought me some in the past say, hey, I've got 50 more totes. You want them? It's like, okay. I hate to say no. You know how I roll. I hate to say no to much of anything. So he brought me all these IBCs. And I'm starting to get this area over here cleaned up. This used to be full of logs or trash. So I'm burning some and I'm cutting some. Had one of my customers from last year that bought boiler wood, said he'd take 10 trailer loads of boiler wood this year. So that's what some of this is going into. Boiler wood, gotta make some of that. This big pile here I've added to this late summer, maybe a little bit, not too much. This entire pile here is Osage orange. This is all mulberry. I'm trying not to get into that until next year. Let it sit here a year in season. And then these are the big walnut logs I have. Rick's either gonna take a few of these or the oak or mix and match to make his 1x6s. And I had a buddy who had some walnut sawn up into some like live edge, let it dry for a couple years and sold it pretty quickly on Marketplace and got some pretty good money at it. So we kicked that idea around a little bit, kicking a few of these off to the side, maybe sawmilling those up. Like you guys said a long time ago, if you find the right guy who saw it up, but then you gotta stick it and you gotta store it and you gotta wait 2 years. And I don't know if it's worth it, but we've kicked the idea around anyway. So we'll see. And y'all have asked me about the roller project. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back on that project. I got 2 of these rollers and I don't want to give too much away here, but I built something for this to set on. And in one of those windstorms I was telling you about, it got demolished into like toothpicks. So yeah, that's on an upcoming video, I suppose. We'll see. We'll show you what that's going to be. And Rick has my trailer currently because when I was bringing some of these logs home at one point in time, one of the logs fell over the edge of the trailer and smashed the door so it wouldn't work anymore. So he's bending it back. He's just doctoring up some of the wheel bearings and, you know, just giving it some good maintenance that I don't really give it. Rick also had the Axis for a while. The conveyor belt, as you guys had seen and maybe noticed if you were at the Hysteria, it had seemed to have lost some power. You could almost, well you could, I say you almost, but you could reach up here, of course, with gloves on and grab a hold of this and stop the conveyor. Now you'd have to grab on pretty tight, but it would stop. So I took it over to Rick and said, hey, what's going on here? He took a link out of there. He said it was a little bit loose. So I took a link out, loosened it up, tightened it up. And it seems to be working flawlessly now. It has not stopped once, I don't believe, since I've had it. And I've run it, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours since I've had it back. So it's doing its job. He also sharpened up the this thing here. What do you call that? The wedge. We talked to Eastonmade about this. Like if it sits out and not used for a while, it will lose pressure and that wedge will just slowly sink down. They said it's not that big a deal, just losing some pressure somewhere. And it really hasn't been that big a deal. You start it right up, it goes in position and you're off and rolling. The other thing that we had looked at, so I don't know if you can tell in there, but there is a small, I don't know if I want to call it a leak. Yeah, I suppose it's a leak, right? When this machine gets hot and running, it loses some hydraulic oil. And I told Rick, I said, something's happening in there. Maybe you want to take that filter out, put in new oil, yada, yada, yada. He calls and talks to Henry, and Henry says, they all kind of do that. It's not that big a deal. Just watch your oil. That filter's made to last a long time, so don't worry about changing that filter unless your oil looks nasty. And this oil does not look nasty. It's pretty clear in color. It doesn't look like it's been hot or burnt. So I think we're in good shape. And I guess one other thing we've done, we have put up a new firewood stand at a state road and a highway intersection. So it's State Road 26 and Highway 931 in Kokomo. And pretty excited because it's a really busy intersection and we've sold exactly 0 bundles from there. I'll put in a little picture of it here. I've got a flag on order, one of those windlass flags. The one I wanted, not available currently. They said they're going to have some next week. So I went ahead and ordered one that I didn't really like, but I think it needs some advertising there at that corner before somebody's going to see it, because it's at a business that doesn't really sell firewood, so nobody really thinks to stop there for it. But Bill Moon did make me a really cool sign, and you've probably seen it by now. I've probably put it in the video, but it says our logo. It's got our Venmo on there. 7 each, 3 for 20. I don't know. All the other good information that someone might want to know if they were buying firewood bundles. Let's go down here and set these logs on top of this pile without killing ourselves. And then I'm going to cut that big ash in half. And then I don't know what we're going to do. Stick around. All right, firewood friends, as promised, you have a surprise here at the end. You're gonna have a chance to win your very own K&L Firewood sock hat. Now, Bill Moon, I said, is making these for me. I bought some for myself, and he sent an extra one and said, hey, give this away in one of your videos. Mention us in the video. Bill Moon, here's his information. If you guys are looking for stickers or merch or anything graphically designed, he's doing a real good job for us. I'm real happy. So give Bill a call. He does all of Joe Barney's. He does outside in the 608. He does Jeff and Patty's, Iron and Oak. I don't know, a bunch of others, I'm sure. I don't know who they are off the top of my head. But anyway, Bill Moon, go check him out. Leave a comment down below. What are we going to say down below? Just leave me a comment. How's that? You don't have to say anything special. Just leave me a comment, and I'll run through a comment picker in a few days. Today's Monday. Let's give it till Friday. We'll do a generator on Friday, and we'll give this away, okay? K&L Firewood. You can go to knlfirewood.com, go to the merch link, get our hats, get our sock hats, shirts, coffee mugs, our hoodies. So don't delay. Leave a comment down below. Thanks for everybody who's been curious about us. We're just fine. We're just super busy. There'll be more videos to come, I promise. See you later.